Responsible prime, huh?
Responsible prime.
You sit up late at night and think about ridiculous stuff now.
Like weird adult things.
Do you wake up and you go on your phone and Google which car has the most airbags?
I don't do that. Listen, at this point, most automobiles, as far as safety is concerned, especially like an SUV, a family SUV, they're all the fucking same.
I would worry more about the driver than the fucking vehicle. I think in any vehicle, a bad driver is going to fuck your world up no matter what.
It's true, but you need a...
Your wife, from your accounts, drives about as bad as Anthony's dad.
But to her credit, she hasn't gotten into so much as a side scrape since I've known her. So all her driving history that she's told me prior to that...
In fairness, her driving time has dwindled, though.
Well, especially with the pandemic, yeah.
With the pandemic and now a pregnancy. So maybe she's getting out of practice. Maybe you have more to worry about. Or did I just lay another seed in your brain to keep you up at night?
No, but with the new kid, I just want a new vehicle, so I've been looking at that. It's just ridiculous because cars have just they've shot up in expense, especially used cars.
Everything's shot up in expense.
Well, yeah,
except lumber, which has shot down recently.
You're talking about it's still like $9 for 2x4.
You should go look. The price of lumber has shot down.
I'm on the app right now.
I think look on the app. Go to we're going to go to Home Depot later. I'm going to be there and film you when you realize.
Going to Home Depot later. It's Father's Day.
Oh, no, we're not going to Home Depot.
It's Father's Day. I have a day to celebrate.
You are not there yet.
You know how many people wish me Happy Father's Day?
Oh, I hate that shit. You don't qualify yet. Neither you or your wife qualify for a day yet, except birthday.
Let's see. The current pricing on a 2x4x8.
Maybe it hasn't trickled to retail, but
no, it has not. That's
on the market. It has
$837, $798.
If you look at the
$967, $10 for pressure treated.
If you look at the graph, it spiked all the way up and it's like plummeted. So. All those people, apparently, two things, like the manufacturer hoarding it to run up the price, but also the last guy in office put a tariff on lumber coming in from Canada, and Canada told us.
Did he ever say?
And Canada told us to kick rocks on it, and so that was another reason why lumber went up in price.
Did he say the word? In proper context.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tariff. Did he say the word tariff in proper context?
I think he doesn't understand.
I know he said the word, but was it ever said in proper context? Because that would be fantastic.
Well, if by proper context you meant costing us more money instead of actually costing the country it's coming from more money?
No, every decision he made was idiotic. I'm talking about the context of the word by the dictionary definition. Did he get it right?
I mean, he knows what a tariff is. He's probably had some placed on him in the past. in some other form or fashion. He deals internationally.
He came out the other day and admitted that he lost the election. I was very impressed with him.
We don't want to talk about that.
No one's listening anyway, Ben. It doesn't matter.
This is true. Which is why we could go into our first topic, which is that I'm going to put some breaking news on here. That Anthony told me he's not coming down for the fucking show. Which I knew. Okay, here's let's big picture. Anthony, there's a memorial show for Rusty, but it's like instead of being a memorial show, it's also a wrestling. I don't want to go to. I don't want to hang out with all those wrestlers. I was getting annoyed because Blake was going and Anthony was going, which meant you were probably going, which means I can't not go. And I, ironically, above all of you, didn't want to go the most because I was the only one that had not said I'm going. So I was kind of relieved when Anthony. I knew Anthony wasn't going to go because this is one of those things where way out, when you set the date way out, he's all for it.
Yeah.
And then as it gets closer, the more he doesn't want to do it, the more he's dreading it, the more fucked up it's getting. Or how, in this case, the match got changed from what he was told it was going to be, et cetera, to then the week of, he doesn't want to do it at all, and he's trying to think of excuses not to. So I knew this was the trajectory. But as we were getting closer to the day, nothing was changing. And I was getting nervous that he was actually going to come. Because, it's Rusty, so I understand that he would want to do that. And I don't think he gives a shit who he gives his word to, like Jeff or anyone like that. But I felt like with Billy, maybe he was feeling a little extra pressure to do something with Billy, because now they don't have a date set in stone.
But the now fell apart, so...
So then this week, he's like, yeah, don't tell anything, because I've been... Because apparently Blake texted him something about it, and he just left it like... He didn't answer it back. He's like, don't say anything, but I'm not coming down for the show. I was like, thank God. Thank God.
Blake's going to have so much heat with him.
Well,
Blake only went because he was there.
Blake took the booking only because he's like, because he wanted to call one of Anthony's last matches. And, but, Blake's getting paid. Blake ain't doing even a memorial show for nothing.
Oh, hell no.
So, at least he's making money. So, I can...
This is, yeah.
Because now...
This is funny.
Because now, apparently, unless you go... Blaze could be the only man going to this. Look at you with your face. I don't know if I want to go now.
Every day, man. Every day I feel differently.
Oh, you flip-flop every... I do. See,
every day it's different.
And again, before I heard from Anthony, I was reading you going, today I really want to go. And then, I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. And then the next thing, you're like, today it's like, have you ever seen the movie, what's that magician movie with... It's got Christian Bale and
fucking damn it!
The Prestige.
Yeah, Prestige.
So you know how Bale's character was actually twins?
Yeah.
And he was working everyone, including his own wife, and she would say, "Some days you love me, and some days you don't." That was you. Like today, yeah. Some days he wants to go, and some days he doesn't.
It's true, man. It's true. It's funny because, listen. Rusty did a lot for me, and I would love to be there. I would love to give Flex a hug. I never have real negative things to say about my experiences with Jeff.
No,
I know other people do.
It has nothing to do with it.
It's nothing to do with anybody involved with the show. It has everything to do with people.
I like Rusty. I would love to see people like Flex.
It has everything to do with the people that I know are going to at least show face.
100%.
And some of those people, I can't. I just don't think I can be in the same room with, man. I've moved to a point in my life where it's like, I would love to do something in the wrestling business, I think, again, just for fun. But, man, these people, just their existence, it's like, nah, why would I do, why?
It's funny because we used to joke about it 3 or 4 years ago, but now it's really the reality. It's like you, me, and Anthony. I mean, Blake's still circling around the wrestling drink.
Yeah.
We all would like to do something, but it's become the reality that unless we did it on our own, unless we did it on our own,
or we would have to look ourselves in the mirror and go, I'm willing
to eat shit,
to eat this certain amount of shit to just do this thing I want to do. And I don't think I've gotten to that point yet.
Right, but there's no... But that's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, what... Yeah. Nothing's been dangled.
Yeah.
There's no carrot yet.
No.
Anthony, it's retirement and Billy, but this isn't going to lead to that, And I don't... Unless they had the foresight a while ago to book them having their retirement match at this thing, which would have been the smart thing to do, in terms of kind of honoring Rusty, because that's, where they both kind of started with Rusty. Mm-hmm. Kind of. I mean, Billy, was doing other stuff before he was wrestling. So I think when he started wrestling, it was with Rusty first, wasn't it?
My career wasn't legitimized at all until Rusty.
Right. So that's the point, is like, but again, Fatso, Slambino, Anthony couldn't get... That's another reason. Like, that guy has not stopped stuffing his face and expanding his midsection.
He's come with every excuse he called this out, wanted it to happen, spoke it into reality, and then immediately went, I don't want to do this.
And now wants to eat himself out of that reality.
I love it. I'll tell you what, I was, and this is going. I know I'm going to get a response from this. I was interested. I wanted to see this Gator Boone guy work. I wanted to see him work a match.
Ironically, I think you can see it online if you want.
No, I need to see it in person.
Oh, you need to really.
I need to watch him work a match in person because that.
Let's get into that. I feel like if people listening are like,
we talked about. I think we talked about it last week.
I don't think we did. Are like, I think we talked about it on our thread, our little chat thread. We just jumped to Gator Boone, and people are like, huh?
So Gator Boone is I guess now an indie wrestler. He's been around for a few years.
You could say pro wrestler.
He's a pro wrestler.
Because there's no qualification to be a pro wrestler.
Amen to that. No, he's not a professional.
That's
wrestler.
like every person that does porn is a star.
I realize he wrestles. He wrestles predominantly up north. He trained with Lethal, I think.
Well, there's some bona fides.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think, as long as you showed up and had your ears open, you could learn something from Jay Lethal. Yeah. I don't think he was running one of those kind of clip joint schools where he was taking your money and not even showing up.
And I don't, one way or the other, I don't know, but I do know that a lot of people who've been trained by Lethal make it.
Right,
places.
that's what I'm saying.
So he obviously ran a legitimized school. Yeah.
I mean, Mark was working with him. They had so many like personal conflicts with each other that it didn't work out. But I don't think one of the complaints was the school. Yeah. I think it was personality stuff, ego and personality stuff.
So this was a super fan, a super fan of mine actually, but he was South Florida super fan with a bunch of others, and he decided to want to get in the business, and he did.
He was local, right?
Yeah. Before we had
to us,
him and I had a conversation around 2016, right before I was done, and where he was like, "Hey, I'm going up and starting my training. I'd really like to work a match with you." And I was just like, "Well, man," and I asked him where he was training. I could bring him.
Here's where Babyface Prime, customer service Prime kicks in.
And then I know at the time I heard it, I'm just like, bro, I'm out, man. I'm like, I was on my way out. I even told him, like, bro, I don't know how much longer I got to do this shit because I was just done with everything. And I told him, listen, man, when you get going and you have a few matches under your belt, man, hit me up. We'll see where I'm at. And I don't think that he started wrestling until after I'd already put my boots in the ring. So I think he took it as I was done. Which I guess you would all assume that, and safe assumption, and we kind of left it at that, and then AJ and Blake pointed out that the Gator Boone character had a lot of similarities to one Sean Prime,
which is your gimmick. I sometimes also see. I think we jump like everybody knows what we're talking about. It like everyone's been in every one of our conversations, but Marco wrestled as Sean Prime. Let's just but
most people
slow it down and kind of like explain because I think sometimes we jump to these names, especially when we call you different names at different times, and maybe
depending on how you know me, maybe it gets by different names.
Like you, Marco. Sean Prime.
Some people still call me DBK.
Dirt Fight Kid. Same thing with Anthony. It's Anthony. It's AJ. It's Tommy Vandal. It's AJ Slambino.
It's
AJ Janazzo. I mean, it can get confusing. I'm the only one that has the same name all the time. And Blake, but Blake doesn't count.
Sometimes
Blake doesn't count for these.
Yeah. Sometimes he's the voice. Sometimes he's Dearest Blake. Anyway. So they pointed this stuff out, was like a month ago, and I was like, oh wow, he really did, he really did steal a lot of my shit, and he shared like one, and I was kind of fucking around and just like whatever, because why the fuck not? I know the guy, and he was cool, so a little dialogue got started. There was
so he hold on. I don't think you've appropriately explained this. He kind of has your look.
He's big. He's a bigger gentleman than I am.
Okay. In a dimension you don't want to be in the ring.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But he's stolen your look, like the hair and the fucking the general look.
He has stolen
The beard,
aspects of my gimmick. Yes.
like the hair,
Yes.
the kind of the outfit, maybe a little.
Yeah.
No. I didn't look at
a little bit. He's
How's his promos? Is he sad? Is he?
I honestly have have yet to hear one of his promos, so I can't.
Okay,
speak
so
on that.
so what we're saying is that
he has stolen aspects of
we're ribbing you just on the fact that, like, on a poster, if you squint really hard, it could be mistaken for you.
And because I knew this gentleman as one of the Sean Prime super fans,
not one that would make you a sign though.
No, not one that would make me a sign. That was a completely different gentleman. Although that was a really cool sign, and unfortunately it got damaged by the elements, so I had to throw it away. And that actually was a sad day to have to throw that thing away.
If you post that loud enough on social media, you might get another sign.
I probably have to work another match. But yeah. Anyway, so.
There's enough time, I think. There's enough time of a window that you could probably have it ready for the fucking memorial show if you wanted to. Just swing by, pick it up, and then, lay some dust tracks.
He'll just work on it all week.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying you could. The fight would be swung through, picked it up, and left.
Oh my god!
Didn't even go in.
Thanks. No, and when you guys pointed it out, I knew I had that conversation with him so many years ago, and I laughed and I went, "Oh, that's fun." So I think I was like, I'll poke some fun and whatnot.
I mean, what do you care because you weren't actively using it?
Yeah, and he posted a video that I got tagged into. Thank you, AJ. And I watched a little clip. He just threw around some fucking methed out backyarder. I don't know. It's up north, Tampa, and the area, and there's just not a lot of good stuff up there. But and I was just like, well, it's interesting. He does interesting things, which is in this business fucking rare at this point. Everyone does the same fucking 8 things because professional wrestling doesn't really exist anymore. It's all just a weird sideshow.
All I'm thinking while we're starting to tell this story is, do I stir the pot and title this episode, "Who Has Gator Boone Ever Beat?" To see if it gets back to him and he listens to this whole thing.
So yeah, I watched that and look, man, I've been going back and forth about doing something ever since my conversation with Adrian, because you talk to certain people, they bring up something, and you're like, I would do that. And then
this is that stuff in the basement.
Yeah, this is that stuff in the basement.
You and Adrian apparently have.
Yeah.
It's like it's fucking contagious.
Yeah. And to be completely clear, again, this was stuff that probably would have been taken care of years ago if it wasn't for people in this business that I can't be in a room with anymore.
Now, Adrian's a good guy.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
I'm still down to do that thing if he's ever down to do it.
He's an earnest, genuine guy who sometimes doesn't think before he speaks.
Sometimes.
That's his only flaw.
Yeah.
Like literally his only flaw. And when you say, "Hey man," and then he thinks about it, there's one of the few fucking guys in the business that when you point something out, he listens, he considers. If you're right, he agrees, and he fucking will work on it. I've never met someone more fucking coachable in life. Like, I'm saying not just in wrestling, but in life than that guy.
And he also...
Which shows when he works really hard at the shit he applies himself to.
And he also, he was working for Comcast, and he was wrestling. And then one day he goes, I want to be a nurse. And we all went, oh, okay. Like, it was out of left field. And here he is now, all these years later, and, he's...
slaying tail, because most of the girls...
He knew something we all did!
Most of the people he works with are women. So he's slaying it. But also he
yeah,
and
he
like
did the work.
Well, the funny thing was when we used to run the wrestling conventions, it would be like, he'd be like, "Well, I'm really like, I don't think school came easy for him.
Yeah,
he had to work really hard at it, but he worked really hard at it. So he was like, I don't know, I got to really study. Like, who has to study so hard that they can't like wrestle a date or two? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like you could show up an hour before, wrestle, and get the fuck out of there.
But he knew what he had to do, man.
But, I mean, no one impressed me more than that guy. So, it's funny that, like, it's someone that, the only reason I bring it up is I was trying to put him over because it's one of the guys that I'm not surprised that you would be open to.
Oh, he's one of the few people that if he called me up tomorrow and was like, hey, seriously, I want to do this thing, would you do it? I'd be like, all right, man, for you, I'll do it. You know, for you, I'll do it.
And I don't think that list is very long.
It's not at all.
He wrestled as the Joker, which worked because in the Indies it was just the South Florida Joker.
Yeah.
He wore like some weird.
But that character got better the more he spent time doing the Joker.
But we shrugged when he did it at SuperCon. I don't know which came first, the SuperCon or the fucking Indie.
No, Indy. He was already. That was half the selling point to get him to go. I'm like, listen, you already dressed up like the motherfucker.
Right.
You just have to show up.
Right.
And that first show was just him and I were the only two guys who were wrestlers. We had a decent match, given that the first version of the Cobra Commander mask literally was just a pair of swim goggles with some fabric fucking over it. That was not a fun experience. But like we did like a Universal spot, and the crowd was on. They lost their shit at a fucking arm drag. And I mean, lost their shit. And he's holding the arm drag, and he's going, Marco, what the fuck? And I'm like, fuck if I know, because
right.
We're used to wrestling in front of a bunch of Cubans down in Miami at the side of a building.
Now, smart workers would be like, "Oh, we can now eliminate all the fucking crazy shit we were going to do."
Which is what we did.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I was like, Adrian, it's like we're not making money. This is just fun. Like, let's just play the character, and we did. We slowed the match down, and
that doesn't sound like the Adrian I know.
And it's funny. Well, we were forced to because of my mask issue.
Okay, that's fair.
And so
plus you were probably calling the match,
and I was the heel, so I was controlling the match.
Right.
So I just timed his shine spots, and it worked out. I mean, bro, I remember this distinctly. We got to the back, and we were both like dead because I never wrestled a fucking mask over my head. I was basically suffocating myself for the first time out there.
You probably didn't make it out of the same material that like the luchadors
I did not.
And you did have a mouth hole.
It was like, no, because it's fucking Cobra, so no, I did not. So yeah, I'm fucking keeping it going. And then one of the assistants like, well, there's a water thing like on the other end of the Mac Center, and I'm like, okay, but I'm like, I don't want to take my clothes off, so I'm like, I'll just keep the mask on and go, because, whatever. Gotta stay in gimmick, daddy. Gotta stay in gimmick. And I might have signed 50 autographs and taken 50 pictures before I got to the fucking... I'm dying. Literally parched. Just want to get my water. And people were lining
What did you sign?
I'm sorry, not sign. Just pictures. I don't know why
I was gonna say, like, did you sign Cobra Commander?
No, we didn't have any merchandise or anything till later. And Adrian too. We took like 50, 60 pictures with people, and it's just like they lined up. And that was the first time that I'd ever been to a convention, so I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm like, I just want my water, like, dude. I was like, it was bad, And then I'm trying to do the voice at the same time. I don't know what the fuck I was. I should have just been like, motherfuckers, let me get some water. But anyway, and it was such a great experience. But yeah, that Adrian, and then from there, the Joker character into the Indies would evolve as he evolved and got more comfortable doing the SuperCon stuff. He kept them distinctly separate, but they kind of like both evolved with each other. And Adrian's great with that kind of shit, because he's very expressive. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. So
who's Gator Boone ever be?
Who's Gator Boone ever be? So, and it's just kind of funny because we had this conversation years ago, and at this point,
you were like, you probably knew when he brought it up that he was just starting, to go to school, and you knew,
and it was
you knew you weren't going to be wrestling by the time he was ready to wrestle.
In fact, it's funny. It's funny. I'm going to bring this up right now because
it's probably the one and only conversation you've had with him on the internet.
On Facebook, yes. I mean, at shows, we would talk at shows.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's probably right there for recall. Look at you.
Oh yeah, it is. It's right here. And there, Grace. Okay.
Oh, he almost gave out his real name.
So he goes, I'm finished up training. I would love to work a match with you, even if it is to put you over. And I'm like, training? What?
What do you mean, even if?
Even if it's to put me
What do you
over?
mean, even if? It would, yeah, dude.
Yeah. Hold on, Ben, hold on. This was in 2000. Oh, this is in 2018. Holy shit! I was already done. I wasn't coming back. He goes, just wondering if you're ever working again, and I'm like, I think at that time, that might have been the last thing with Drew and me and Mark at the
which is up in Gator Boone country.
So maybe you'd see me do something, even though we all knew I was only doing a thing with Drew.
Right.
And yeah.
Although we did think that was going to last longer than one.
Yeah, we did. Every time Drew and I get excited about
one
something.
Fizzle.
Yeah. He goes, I moved up to Tampa to train with Jay Lethal. I'm like, oh, all right, cool, man. Great to hear. I should have my first match sometime next month. So he's been working since 2018. I asked him how long he's been training. Training for 4 months. I would love to work a match with you before you put the... I would love to work a match with you before you put the boots back up. Oh, before I hang the boots back up. Technically, I hadn't worked a match. I was out there in front of nobody because the person that I was going to have a match with didn't show up.
Well, there were people there.
Yeah,
that's not fair.
But I told him I was like, to be honest, man, I don't know. I'll tell you what. We'll see how things pan out. If a situation would ever present itself to have a match, sure, why not? Because at that point, I was like, well, whatever, I don't give a fuck. He goes, let me know. I get you. What did he say? I can get the match booked on Tampa Bay Pro. I don't know if they're still around. But let me get a few shows out of the way so you don't have to carry me as much. I know it may be done. I know you might be done, so I'm asking respectfully. And I'm like, oh, okay, man, we'll see how it touch and we'll stay in touch. Awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then, a couple months later, he sent me his first match, was this, a Battle Royal. I didn't watch it. Because I don't watch anything in Battle Royals, because Battle Royals are a determination of exactly 0% of what you are capable of doing in a wrestling ring.
Right.
So yeah, I really want to go. Part of me wants to go. Here's the thing, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
I found a way to sell the match in my head, because, and that's the problem. I went. Could it even be done? And I'm like, well,
maybe could what be done?
Based on this conversation right here, based on the fact that he's stolen aspects of my gimmick.
Oh, you want to create story around it? Oh, there's plenty of story there.
Yeah, so
you just totally you're totally the heel in this.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's the other thing, because I was talking with my friend Kevin, and he goes, and I was kind of telling him about this, and I'm like, it wouldn't happen until, I wouldn't even consider until well after.
You're fucking talking to other people about this? You really want to wrestle again, you piece of shit?
I thought about it.
Oh, man.
I thought about it.
This is...
Yeah. I thought about it. Because I'm not excited about the business. I'm not. It's purely 100% selfish. Because I want that experience in that ring again, and I know I can still do it. But I want to be very, very, very selective, and I don't want. So Adrian started it. It's Adrian's fault. Mm-hmm. He brought it up. I was complete. But I was like, well, Adrian and I, because I know he'll sell 400 fucking tickets. Because he sold 90% of all the tickets in ICW.
Well, yeah, now he works in a hospital or something. All those people.
Do you know how many nurses will be at that show?
Well, yes. Here's the interesting about Adrian is that once he relocates to a new job, from occupation to occupation, he now has another huge group of people that have eventually hear you're a wrestler and are curious to see you wrestle. And so when you finally do it, they're going to show up.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But
he works in environments where there are a lot of you're kind of what would two people come from your workplace to check it out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not working in this field where it's
that's where Adrian that's where he got so big so fast locally was he would sell 100, 200 tickets every show. He was 90%.
They put the belt on anyone that can do that.
100%. And I know in that situation, there's no way I could ever be a babyface. And I was like, oh, that'll be the
You don't want to be that anyways.
I was like, that'll be the easiest match in the world to call. Me and Adrian in front of 400 of his fucking friends that all want to see him shine. Oh, man, we could do that match in our fucking sleep.
Yeah.
I just got to be, like, physically ready to do that match. That's not a problem at all. Like, that's easy night out in the fucking work. And with that reaction and that feel, everyone gets what they want out of it. So fuck it, let's do that any day of the week. With this Gator Boone thing, it's just like, well, we'll see. Like if
but we got sidetracked.
Oh, that story is so easy. That story is so easy. He stole some of my shit. Of course, it would piss me off.
And since the time that he came at you respectfully, now he's disrespect. Now that he's wrestling and you're not there to keep him in check, he's become disrespectful towards you.
Marco Salvino loves what this kid is doing. He's having a great time. He's an older, I think he's my age. So he's just living a dream.
Oh, Gator Boone is.
Yeah.
You made that really confusing for a second when you said.
Prime, however,
when you said
that shit and goes,
wait. When you said Marco Salvino, and then in the same sense that he's I think he's close to my age. I'm like, are we talking split personalities?
No,
what are you doing?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so he's having a great time or whatnot. He was a big fan. He was a big fan of mine, and. But yeah, I could totally see on the other side where I'm like, man, we could do some fun. We could do some fun stuff. It could be fun. And
if he understands how to work.
But
where it's like, if you start saying things and he starts taking it personal and doesn't understand, and then starts getting
he's working agony at this show. It's a perfect time to show off how impressive he can be. Agony's that kind of guy to have that match with. That's why I loved working him, because as a big guy, you can literally do anything with that little fuck. And you look phenomenal because he's so light, and he's very light on his feet. So there's no excuse for him to not have a good exhibition and showing as far as his physical capabilities, because Aaron's going to be there for everything, whether he likes it or not half the time, but Aaron's good at that. He's good at feeding for the monster. So that should be I expect that to be a good match. And if it's not, then I go, okay, well, is there work there that I can put in, or is that a no-go? That it's inherent on him. If he comes and has a really great showing, I might go, fuck, all right, well, I'll talk to him. We'll do it all in Tampa. I won't do anything down here. Fuck that.
Right.
Fuck that.
That makes him way more appealing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It won't be done in South Florida. Absolutely not. Absolutely fuck not. I don't know what it would take for me to work. Adrian would probably be the only reason I'd work down here again. And that would be in Miami, probably. I doubt it would be in Broward.
I don't know. I don't know where he works.
I don't have...
He might work in... might work in Broward.
I'm not somebody who needs everyone there. Because nobody ever came to watch me fucking wrestle. So I don't really care.
Some people did.
Some people did. But it's 100% selfish on my part what I want to do with this. And you know what?
You had people coming with signs. Yeah. Some people were coming to see you
wrestle. Like family and that
Gator Boone used to come see you wrestle.
But, my parents only watched... I think my dad only watched, 2 shows ever.
Yeah.
And my mom only came to a handful. So, I don't need to have everyone there to support. I don't need that shit. I thrive on what I'm best at, and what I'm best at is making everyone hate my guts. I'm very good at it, Ben. You know that. And I haven't. And like Kevin was like, wouldn't you want to be like the go out with everybody holding you on the shoulders like you had your Rudy moment? I'm like, fuck that.
Had your Rudy moment.
Fuck that. I was like, dude.
Does he remember what Rudy was? Rudy was the guy that was the retard that didn't get on the field till the last fucking play of the last fucking game.
Everybody wants that Miracle on Ice moment, that WrestleMania moment, that Super Bowl, all that nonsense. And you're like, listen, that's great, but that's for the top 1% of people that have worked real hard to deserve it. I'm just a dude who wants to have a little bit more fun, pissing people off before I walk out.
Yeah, what could happen that could be a moment for you in the ring other than a random guy in a suit running in the ring after you after you won your match to beg you to sign a contract for them.
Yeah,
you know
right?
what I mean?
It's not going to happen.
You've done everything else in indie wrestling. Who gives a fuck?
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Man. It's purely selfish on my end because I know I can still be good at it. And I know I could still go out there and do what I did, but just not, all the fucking time. So it would be very selective on my end. And that's the only two things right now. And the whole Gator Boone thing is just because, look, all these years later, somehow I kind of believe that, when that opportunity kind of represents itself manifests out of nowhere, because AJ and Blake certainly didn't know that I had any conversations with this guy. They only saw some dude that looked like me. It's like, hey, this super fan of yours is stealing your gimmick.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like that. I kind of think, oh man, maybe that, maybe there's a reason that happened. So I don't know. But that's the only reason I want to go to this fucking show. Because I wouldn't put myself through it for any other fucking reason than pure selfish reasons. Because all those people in that self-contained South Florida indie community, fine. You know how many of them I've heard from since I walked away? A whole fucking goose egg of zero. So go fuck themselves. I don't care. But I would go scout this one guy, see his match, and go, okay, we can do business. Or, I'll wait to see if Adrian's ever serious. Or if some kind of weird phone call happens.
I'm gonna jump on Messenger tonight and send Adrian a message. He goes, I hear you're wrestling Marco.
Oh my god, listen, how close is AMC Stock Wrestling to fruition?
The squeeze might happen this week, to be honest with you.
I love talking to you about this stuff.
The squeeze, dude, you don't understand. This thing was supposed to happen like 2 months ago. I'm like digging through the couch cushions, so I don't use any more of my stock to pay rent right now, because I know the second I do, it's gonna fucking fly, and then I'm gonna be crying in my suit. I could have had another I could have had another $20,000.
No,
I had to use it to keep a roof over my head. That's why I'm looking at this thing from Credit Ninja.
Oh my god!
I'm just kidding,
oh.
But
if you get all your financial advice from Ben Temples.
I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but I have made some good picks.
Mm. He has. Actually, you have, I think.
Yeah, so whatever, man. You can shit on me. I'll take it. So Gator Boone, I guess he's one of these ideas floating around the wrestling. What I don't even know what.
Because I know I could tell a good story with it, and regardless of the finish, he's going to come out better, and I'll have fun doing that. And because of those reasons,
how funny would it be if our self-funded AMC stock wrestling or whatever we end up doing, payday wrestling, tax return wrestling, stimulus check wrestling, we decide to throw, if it's a snub to everyone, that's who you work as Gator Boone.
I'm telling you right now, and if Gator Boone ever listens to this is not a knock on you at all, man, at all. But working people,
he never came to despise you in the business like everybody else, so he'd be happy to work with you.
Yeah. Just if every match I ever had from here on out, if I ever work again, is against guys that either A, no one knows, B, people are just starting to know, or C, straight up fucking backyarders. If that's just the best, most entertaining way for me to fill the void that I need filled, then and it pisses everyone else off, I'm fucking for it, man. I'm fucking for it. Because a lot of these guys, I'll still shake your hand. We're still cool, but I remember all these conversations I had with all these people and where we are right now. I never forgot, man.
You're not cool.
Now we're all right.
You're just happy to exist in the same space peacefully with them for that afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, we're not. I don't have heat with you. It's not a matter of. It's not. There's people I have heat with. There's people I legitimately don't want to be around 10 feet of me. But most people is like, hey man, how you doing? I'm glad you're doing well.
Can we make a list for next week? The top 10 people Marco has heat with.
Oof. Oof. I don't want to say that shit out loud.
No?
I'll see some of those.
I'll bring my list if you bring yours.
Oof.
We'll see how many cross over.
Oh my goodness.
It probably won't be that many, but there'll be one or two.
There'll be a few strong crossovers. There'll be a few strong candidates of why Satan hasn't just plucked you back down to the underground where you belong.
Yeah, your 10-year contract with the Crossroads Demon is up. Your soul is due.
And Lou Spector, you're on top of the list, buddy.
There we go.
Past him, I'm not calling anybody else by name.
I mean, you could comfortably call deceased people out, like Max Capacity.
Oh, Max Capacity's already burning. So good for him. It couldn't happen to a nicer fellow.
I feel like the more names I get out of your mouth, the more angrier you are, and the more entertaining this podcast is going to be.
Nah, man. Yeah, no. So yeah, I think that's just kind of how I feel about everything. Is I would totally be down. And this whole thing with AJ and Billy and this whole journey of AJ discovering that when he opens his mouth he can manifest things, then he realizes he doesn't want to manifest things. And we've gone through this now for 2 months, and it's been fucking hysterical.
Why don't we do where you finally have had enough of it? And you challenge Billy for the match, and then you and Billy have the match, and just fat shame, and it's just you two fat shaming AJ all the way to the match. and then it's beautiful, because then after that match, you've got multiple you've got all storyline, because you could be feuding with AJ, you could still be feuding with Billy could be feuding with AJ, and Billy could be feuding with you. It's like you've now filled like 6 months of wrestling cards, maybe a year's worth, depending how often you run. If you run once,
stimulus, buddy.
Right? If you run once every 2 or 3 months,
it
definitely could run a year with this. Because I think all three of you are more like fit for running storyline on the internet than in actual matches these days.
It's funny that we can sit here and talk shit and come up with better ideas than anything indie wrestling has produced in 5 fucking years.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm nothing if not an idea guy. I'm not so much an execution guy. But I'm definitely an idea guy.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Next week is gonna be I don't know. Part of me is like, nah, it's just better to Rick Blake. Another part of me is like, nah, I kind of want to see this guy work. And that's the only reason I want to show up, other than, of course,
I'm not going. I'm out.
You're out?
I'm out.
Okay.
I was never going. Let's be honest. If I'm not going to your baby shower, I'm definitely not going to this fucking wrestling show.
Ben has just silently decided he's never leaving this house again. He just hasn't told anybody out loud.
Right, I work from home, man.
I work from home!
Nobody's demanding I show up in the office.
Where's your spaceship, buddy?
Huh?
Where's your spaceship?
Oh, I got all the parts over there. I just haven't bought. I'm waiting for my ship to come in to buy the tools I need to actually start building.
All right. We got mini Musk over here.
Yeah.
Space 2.
Yeah, but so are we done with Gator Boom? Is that the?
We're done for Gator Boom now.
I feel like that's mostly what we spoke about, so it's definitely going to be the title of the podcast. I'm starting this angle. Now the problem is, if I title it "Who Has Gator Boone Ever Beat?" I'm afraid Blake's going to listen, and then it's going to ruin. It's going to ruin AJ's rib of not letting him know for as long as possible that he's not.
Maybe we need to title it something else that's very innocuous and has nothing to do with the content of this actual podcast.
Yeah, but I want. But
like, what weighs more? A pound of feathers or a pound of rocks or some shit? And you're just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, but then But imagine if people actually listen to find out.
Oh my God, you're sad people.
And then they get to the end, they're like, fucking never talked about, Nike shoe collecting or whatever the fuck you're talking about.
How many licks does it take to get to the center? We'll never know, motherfucker. Because we don't either.
Of a Gator Boone pop.
Of a Gator Boone. Ooh, dude, that's the... is that a no homo? I don't know.
Now,
do you say no homo anymore?
Now, do you know anything about his gimmick? Like, why is he called Gator Boone?
I think he's a Gator wrestler from the Bayou.
Is that what he is?
I think he's a manager too.
Oh. These are things you should look into.
Like his finisher's that Gator roll, and then he crosses the arms behind your back and puts you in like a recliner.
Like he's a Seminole Indian wrestling.
Yeah, and I think that's really creative.
Yeah.
Which is part of the when I saw that clip is when I was just like, oh fuck. Like he does.
He's piqued my interest.
He's piqued my interest. God
or
damn
piked.
I think it's peaked.
Piked.
I don't think even there's a
Piqued. I think
it's peak.
Piked.
I think it's peak. I think pike is like how you would say it if you were dumb American. If you're intelligent, you say peaked.
I think coming from you, and you talking that definitively, it's now exactly the opposite of that. As confident as you were when I know that you have no confidence in what you just said. I feel like that's a wrestler working his way through bullshit. Well, you looking it up?
No.
Well, put your phone down then, you cocksucker. Show the people some respect.
What?
There's people listening now, and you're on your phone.
Is there people listening now?
Well, not this second. It's not. We're not live.
How about
now? Maybe in like 6 hours, and I upload it.
Well, if you're listening now, we appreciate your viewership.
Yeah. And
by viewership, I mean listenership, because I don't know why I said viewership, because we damn sure haven't fucking videotaped anything.
But we upload to YouTube, and there's like a still title card the whole time. So technically, it's a video.
Maybe you should have pictures of us.
Nobody wants that. Like pictures of us doing what?
I don't know.
If you listen,
do we have headshots? Maybe we should get headshots.
We should get headshots.
Like Sears catalog.
Oh, you want to go for the goofy fucking?
I don't know, Ben. I don't know. Maybe people want to know who we are.
Well, if AJ was coming to town next week, and we could get the four of us together.
Blake, if you're listening,
AJ
is coming to town next week.
I'd love to do some gimmicky Sears family portrait kind of stuff. Do you remember when I think it was. I
remember Sears portraits as they happened.
No, but
I was a Sears portrait kid.
But it was I think it was Leva and John.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and Ricardo Rodriguez, and maybe it was Xavier or someone. They did the ugly
Sears.
sweater kind of things where it was the three faces looking at the other faces, like the moon kind of thing or something. I don't remember.
We could do that kind of cool shit.
I mean, cool shit's stretching it, but yeah. You got anything else today? Or are we gonna?
I know what I could bring up. It's
here we go.
It's
in her 20th fucking month of pregnancy.
It's our favorite time of the podcast. It's what to expect.
Yeah.
And what the fuck? We're at 32 weeks. I just saw what the fucking thing was.
32 weeks is 8 months.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Or 7 3/4.
Something like that.
Because I know months and days in the calendar.
4 or 5. Yeah.
There's 30 days in a month, so maybe it's a little less than months, but whatever.
We're almost a third into the third trimester.
Almost a third. So then it's less than 8 months.
Yeah. 8 weeks to go. 8 weeks to go, Ben.
Jesus Christ, man.
And my baby is currently...
You're not getting enough in right now before your life is completely over.
Oh my goodness. My baby's now the size of a cantaloupe.
What kind of cantaloupe?
It just says a cantaloupe, man.
That doesn't... I thought this was all goofy themed stuff.
It is. It's the size of a cantaloupe, the size of a Polly Pocket adventure playset.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know, but it's Polly Pocket as a kid with little like Mighty Max.
I assume they were small things.
They were small little play
that involve
sets.
like it fits in your pocket.
Yes.
Okay, so your baby fits in a pocket.
Or my baby's as big as the volleyball from Top Gun.
See, volleyball from, but not cantaloupe that so and so ate. It's just a cantaloupe. This fucking app's getting lazy. The Top Gun volleyball. Ironically, you know what I'm going to say with Top Gun. No, probably not. My dream always was when we were doing
SuperCon,
the cosplay wrestling was to get more into doing like vignettes and stuff for the video aspect of it.
Kind of like when WrestleMania went Hollywood.
No, just like I wanted to film more outside the ring stuff. And I always had this dream of recreating the volleyball scene as like beefcakey gay as it was, and with the music, shot for shot recreation of it, but with you as Cobra Commander in the hood. You know, like obviously maybe you'd be wearing like the pants and no shirt.
Yeah.
And like whoever else was going to be, and you guys were like playing against someone else.
I knew we had Chamberlain.
But whatever it was going to be like
all the body guys. We had all the body guys.
I feel like it was going to be one of those things where you bump carts with someone in the grocery store and you're in full gimmick and the other character is in full gimmick, and they look at you and they go, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" And then it does the Wayne's World fizzle to a memory, and it's the full shot for shot recreation of the volleyball scene from Top Gun, but like shot for shot. But if we can gay it up more, we'd gay it up more, and then if
that wasn't gay enough,
right, and then it wiggles back to you guys in the grocery store, and it was obviously you remembering it, and you go, "No, I don't think so," and then you move on. I always wanted to do that. There were a couple of other things, like scenes from like movies and stuff that we were like gonna like parody and.
I think Jude wanted to do some stuff that we had to pull back on with the.
Dude, we cut the. I can't believe we made this. It was a fantastic. It's a totally compelling promo. It's so fun to watch. We did it like in one afternoon, edited it in an hour, came out, it was fantastic. When we were at the SuperCon offices with Jude in the Alex DeLarge character from Clockwork Orange. Except when you watch it back, you realize it was spot on the character, but it was all the rapey aspects of him. All the like treating women like property and rapey, and like it was even like he was like trying to recruit Princess Peach was like the storyline he was trying to get her, and he was kind of intimating that once he gave her a little of the in out, she'd come around to his way of thinking. And it's like it was the most rapey, fucked up thing. And none of us realized it at the time as we were doing it, because we were just doing the character. And then we watch it back and we go, wow, this is totally fun. To the point where I think Dooley was like already one of his girls. And he was sitting on her, like she was on her hands and knees like a bench. The funniest thing was when he got up, he like with his cane whacked her on the ass, but hit her right in the fucking pussy. And she like yelped and got up. And then after we cut, she was like, he hit me right in the fucking the gooch. And then but those led into the final show that you and I both have worked on at the bigger convention center, where he was showing up to the ring with like 10 chicks all dressed up like him.
There was a lot.
Like, I forget who it was, but I think between Dooley and what's her name? The fairy girl. I can't. Doris. Yeah. God, why did I slip with their name? That they recruited a bunch of chicks to dress up as
Droogs.
As Droogs. So they all had the white clothes with the black suspenders and the black hats, and it was great. And they would come in the ring, and they would almost before Evil Luna was doing it in AEW. They were like a couple would get on their hands and knees and form a chair for him to sit on. And
they formed furniture.
They did form furniture, and they were all like kind of into him. And there was a good promo with them all on the stairway up behind him.
Yeah,
and he was like, "This is when we were trying to get Jerry Lawler to work with him," and so he had the women, and I think he had the women's belt at the time, and all and Lawler blew us off on that whole thing. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
I'll tell that story. Fuck Jerry Lawler and fuck, what's his name? Michael Kingston. That's his buddy. Fuck them.
Fuck them both.
Fuck them both. But yeah, I don't know how we got into this. But, oh yeah, because we were trying to... So, the other thing that I always wanted to do was kind of... Because eventually John Cruz, who now wrestles at Serpentico in AEW,
Shout out to
he
John.
got really over when we had him kind of replace Beaver as Deadpool in our wrestling stuff.
And then him and Joker had an amazing run.
Well,
There's another thing.
as the Deadfools. But what I always wanted to do with him, because he was really good with like physical comedy and slapsticky stuff, and he was just had that in him to be over the top character, was I wanted to find someone to do Ash Williams from the Army of Darkness and Evil Dead stuff, but call it like it was going to be a combo thing. Instead of like it being the Book of the Dead, it was going to be the Book of the Deadpool.
Yeah.
And instead of like the face, you know how on the book it was bound in human skin, and the front of the book was like a topography of like a face.
It'd be a Deadpool.
It would be a Deadpool mask, and then when he opened it, all these Deadpools started springing out everywhere, and he was, you know, that scene in the cabin, where he's fighting his hand, or combine it also with the scene in the windmill in that other movie where he's fighting little versions of himself. Instead, he's fighting a bunch of Deadpools, and then like he has this whole vignette. It was going to be the way we entered the tournament show, was that we were going to have him fighting all these Deadpools, and that's how you introduce Ashley Williams. And then as soon as he defeats them all, and he's like huffing and puffing, the door kicks open, and like kind of like Mortal Kombat style, you or one of the Cobra people come and hand him an invite to the tournament. And that was going to be like the way you introduce that character, and you know, like in all those movies, in Enter the Dragon or Mortal Kombat or any of those tournament-style martial arts movies, there's always that stuff at the beginning where you introduce a bunch of characters where they have like a fight scene, and then at the end of it, someone shows up and gives them an invite to the great tournament on the island in the mystical realm or whatever.
That tournament show was fun.
But I always wanted to redo the tournament and do these vignettes to lead up to it. You know what I mean? So that was always another highly produced cosplay wrestling thing I wanted to do that was never going to be a reality because the budget was going to be ridiculous, and herding cats was hard enough the day of a show. Yeah. But to get people together to film extra stuff was, even if you were paying them, was just a nightmare.
It's true. It's true. In fact, you know, I don't know if we've ever done a real big deep dive into some of that stuff. Maybe we should do that in upcoming weeks.
What, the cosplay wrestling stuff?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories there.
We did a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
And I feel as if some of that stuff is really, like, ripe for telling.
Especially since a lot of what we did doesn't exist anymore. It
was a flash in the pan kind of stuff.
Well, no. But what I mean is, like, the video.
Yeah.
Like, even just the wrestling shows and stuff. I think through pure, like, spite, maliciousness, that once we were gone, that stuff got yanked. The photos which is unfortunate because, like, so many people put a lot of hard work into that and were proud of it, and they were tagged in all the photos and all the stuff.
Those are the best times of my life.
And when someone goes and, out of spite, yanks all that stuff off the internet because you and I were involved with it, or for that moment where they were mad at all the wrestlers and there was going to be no more wrestling at these things, that all that stuff kind of disappeared, and all these things people had, that they were tagged in that they could look at or show other people were gone. That's not fair. I would love to have access to all that footage, but that'll never happen. So
I let it go, man. We have the memories.
No, I let it go too. Yeah. I'd love to do it again.
In some
overproduced way. Yeah. Do it as like a series on YouTube for free for people.
My god, like a Dark Side of the Ring type thing?
No. Just redo. Just do as a more cinematic presentation. You know how they do all this fan cosplay things, like these fan movies like Star Wars and Batman and all this stuff? Why couldn't we do it wrestling? And do all the characters and cinematically? Other than money, why couldn't we do all of that?
Money, time, all that stuff.
Well, money pays for time. But I think that would be fun. And you never know. You could get enough views. You don't think people would watch, like if you present it in more of a cinematic way, a more produced cinematic way, that people wouldn't watch that? You couldn't get a million views on those videos? Watching a cinematic presentation of Cobra Commander fighting Link from, because it's almost like those celebrity death fights, or remember for a while they had those things. They were produced really nicely, where it was like Batman fighting Wolverine or
Some
whatever.
of those are really well done.
Yeah. I mean, if you'd done that with wrestling, and instead of it just being a match, they'll make it like a series where it was like, again, a tournament makes the most sense to have all these conflicting characters that don't fit in each other's universes fighting each other. If you could present that in a way, I think people would watch it.
It probably would. Absolutely.
It just would take money that neither of us have.
Nope.
A time neither of us have.
Well, yeah.
I don't have that time, sorry.
All right, buddy. Well, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And
even the deadbeat ones.
did we do once?
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
think we should do that one.
Yeah.
No. Just dads out there. And the dad to bees, if you got one.
No, you don't count.
I don't count?
Nope.
Oh.
You don't count till next year. I refuse.
10-4, buddy.
Especially since it doesn't hurt your feelings.
All right, everybody.
I know that you're...
Like our shit. Share it.
Yeah, or just
don't.
keep doing what you're
keep doing what you've been doing, which is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You pieces of shit.
Yeah. No, we love you. We love you.
We love you anyway.
Especially the one guy that sometimes comments on our YouTube channel.
Well, how come we never read his comments?
We do, but they're always... I do, but they're always like... He only comments when we talk about wrestling stuff. And he's like, I love hearing the wrestling stuff. Talk about wrestling stuff. So here we sort of did some wrestling stuff.
You random guy who commented on Facebook a few times.
I don't know if he's random. I think he's from down here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And reacting in any way.
Yeah.
React to this video.
I would tell you what his name is, but it doesn't roll off the top of my brain.
Fair enough.
It's early in the morning still for us.
All right, everybody. Okay, bye.